Welcome back! Today, we'll be talking about this Venom bus I picked up from Wicked. We've all been there. You spend 20 hours on a high detail resin print, the sports came out off clean, but then you go to dry fit the parts, and then there's a gap. Today, we're not just printing Venom, we're making them look like a solid piece of art. I'm going to show you 3 different ways to fill those seams, how to sand them back without losing that insane symbiotic texture, and finally, how to prime and paint him, so those gaps disappear forever. So let's jump right into it. I started off by printing out all the pieces. This was the gap for the model. I started the process already, as you can see. I just forgot to record it. On the right, I used resin, and on the back, I used a light curing putty called Frankenkraut. I hope to God I'm pronouncing that correctly. Last thing I'm going to do to fill that last gap is using a putty, a drying putty, like Tamiya. I'll show you a photo of it later on in the video. Method 1 is my personal favorite for resin prints, using resin itself. Using a Q-tip, I brush a little liquid resin into the gap and then hit with a UV pen. You're essentially welding the plastic back together. It's fast, it's strong, and it matches the material perfectly. I'll usually work through this very slowly without rushing so I can make sure the gap is completely filled in. Remember to wear gloves and do this in a well-ventilated area. The second method is using a light curing putty. For this example, I'll be using the Frankenkraut that I mentioned earlier. I'm not going to lie to you guys, filling in the gap worked perfectly, but sanding down was extremely annoying and took time. I actually wouldn't recommend this process if you do not have a lot of time to work on this. The drying process is very quickly. You just put it on, apply the UV light, and instantly it hardens. But I applied a bit too much to the back of it, and it took me a long time to sand it down. The final method is a classic hobby putty. It's great for a small line fracture. The key here is less is more. You want to pack it in, but don't leave a mountain of it, or you'll be sanding until the next Marvel movie comes out. Use a sculpting tool or even a toothpick to push it into the crevices. You will need to let this dry. I usually leave it overnight to make sure that it's 100% dry before I start sanding. Once you're done with the method that you've decided to use, go back and make sure you didn't miss any gaps. If it looks good, it's time to start the sanding process. If you like the content, please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting on the video. It helps my channel grow. Now let's get back to the video. For the final reveal, I just want to remind you guys to check out my website. If you're looking for a garage kit for something I've done in the past, if you're looking for a painting kit to paint something, or if you just want me to print or paint something custom for you, you can message me on my website. The website is nightwolfllc.com, and that's wolf with a U, not an L. Now let's see the final. Filling is only half the battle. Now we had to sand. I started with a 300 grit to knock down the bulk, and then moved up to a 400. Once a primer hits, you can't even tell that this was multiple pieces. He looks like he crawled right out of the comics. If this helped you level up your 3D printing game, don't forget to subscribe for more awesome projects like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.